We touched down in Arequipa, the White City, 2,300 meters above sea level, at the foot of 3 towering volcanoes, including the iconic El Misti. Its colonial heart, carved from white volcanic stone, glows in the sun, and has earned recognition as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. At the Plaza de Armas, life pulses with music, markets, and history, making Arequipa a perfect gateway into the high Andes. By chance, we arrived right in time for the city's Foundation Festival. The old center was alive with parades, music, dances, all weekend long. The atmosphere was electric, and as we drew closer to the Plaza de Armas, the heart of the city, the crowds of locals and travelers made the celebration feel truly unforgettable. The celebrations in Arequipa were unforgettable, but for us, they were only the beginning. From the heart of the White City, our path led us to an extraordinary journey, one of the most unique train rides in the world. At the station, we were welcomed with the joyful spirit of local culture, setting the perfect tone for our journey ahead. For 3 nights and 2 full days, the train would carry us across the Peruvian Andes. From Arequipa to Cusco, along the way, we would pause at fascinating towns and breathtaking sights, each stop adding a new layer to the story of this land. It will be more than a ride. It will be a moving window into Peru's soul. The Andean Explorer by Belmond is more than a train. It's a hotel on rails, moving slowly across the highest plains of the Andes. With elegant cabins, fine dining, and panoramic lounge cars, it combines 5-star comfort with the raw beauty of Peru's landscapes. The train's history adds to its charm. Originally, it ran as part of the Australian legendary Great South Pacific Express. Later, Belmond carefully restored and reimagined them, infusing classic wood paneling, polished brass details, and timeless design. Today, these historic coaches glide through Peru's mountains, carrying travelers on a journey that is as much about the ride as it is about the destinations along the way. Slowly, the Andean Explorer began its climb, winding away from the valleys of Arequipa and into the heart of the Andes. With every turn of the rails, the air grew thinner, the sky deeper, and the horizon wider. Each breath reminded us, this journey would truly be breathtaking, in every sense. Step by step, we rose higher toward the great plateau that rests nearly 4,800 meters above sea level. Herds of graceful llamas and alpacas wander freely. Our first stop was the Laguna Salinas Blanca Reserve, a vast landscape of white salt flats shimmering beneath the sun. Here, nature and tradition meet. Locals have harvested salt from these plains for generations, carving shallow pools that reflect the surrounding volcanoes like mirrors. An unforgettable vision of life at the roof of the Andes. Hours later, we found ourselves gliding along the edge of the Colca Canyon, one of the deepest canyons in the world. Below, the Colca River traced a silver path between rugged cliffs, while not far away, the Sumbay Caves hid ancient rock paintings, silent sketches of hunters and animals that have watched over these mountains for thousands of years. The wind here was so strong that I couldn't even fly the drone. Such a pity, because it could have shown just how powerful and vast this place truly is. As the hours passed, the train carried us deeper into the highlands. The sharp cliffs softened into wide, golden plains. The light began to change as the sun lowered in the west. We paused at La Rea, the highest point on the route, where the Milky Way unfolded in full brilliance. We woke up to a breathtaking sunrise, warming our hands with a cup of hot tea, beside an open fire at the edge of the railway line in Puno's harbor. Puno itself is known as the folklore capital of Peru, famous for its vibrant festivals, traditional dances, and lively music. Sitting on the shores of Lake Titicaca, the highest navigable lake in the world, the city has been shaped for centuries by the lake's culture and traditions, where life moves in rhythm with the water and the people who call it home. Puno is a lively mix of old and new. Street markets buzz with vendors selling fresh produce and alpaca wool, while students and travelers fill the cafes around the main square. Life here moves between tradition and modern rhythm, with the lake always at its center. Down at the harbor, colorful boats sway gently on the water, ready to sail toward the legendary floating islands. From the harbor, we set off across the calm waters of Lake Titicaca, and soon the famous Euro's floating islands appeared on the horizon. These islands aren't made of rock or sand, they're built entirely by hand, from totora reeds that grow in the shallow parts of the lake. Families cut the reeds, tie them into thick layers, and stack them one over another, creating a floating surface, strong enough to hold houses, kitchens, and even small watchtowers. The reeds on the bottom slowly rot away, so new layers are added on top, keeping the islands afloat and alive. The tradition of building these reed islands began centuries ago, when the Euro's people sought to escape conflict with rival groups on the mainland. Living on the water gave them both safety and independence, and over time, this way of life became their identity. Even today, many Euro's families still live here, fishing, weaving colorful textiles, and welcoming visitors who come to see how an ancient tradition has survived in the modern world. As we stepped onto one of the floating islands, the ground felt soft and springy beneath our feet. Almost like walking on a giant mattress made of reeds. The families welcomed us with warm smiles, inviting us into their simple reed houses, where everything from the walls to the beds was carefully woven by hand. They showed us how they build their boats, layer upon layer of totora tied together, light enough to float, but sturdy enough to carry them across the lake. We listened to their stories, saw the beautiful textiles they weave in bright colors, and got a sense of how life here is both fragile and resilient. Between the laughter of children, the smell of reeds drying in the sun, and the endless blue of Lake Titicaca all around us, it felt like we had stepped into another world, one that still carries the spirit of centuries past. From the floating islands, we continued sailing across the lake, until the rocky silhouette of Tequila Island came into view. Unlike the reed islands, Tequila is solid land, a rugged island of stone and earth that rises steeply from the water. Its slopes are carved with ancient agricultural terraces, green steps climbing up the hillsides, where locals still grow potatoes, quinoa, and beans, much like their ancestors did centuries ago. Walking through the narrow stone paths, you feel the rhythm of island life. No cars, no rush, just the quiet sound of the wind, and the steady pace of people carrying baskets or herding sheep and alpacas along the terraces. Tequila is also famous for its weaving tradition. The men knit intricate hats, while the women spin and dye the wool, a craft recognized by UNESCO as part of the world's cultural heritage. As the day slowly faded, our train pulled out of the station, its rhythm blending with the sounds of the city. From the window, we watched as the train slowly rolled out of Puno, passing right through the bustling market street. And so, as the train left Puno behind, we began our final night's journey. Rolling quietly through the high plains, on the way toward the sacred valley of Cusco. We arrived in Marangani late at night and settled into the quiet town to rest. By morning, we woke to a crisp Andean sunrise, the first lights spilling over the mountains surrounding the valley. Marangani sits at over 3,800 meters above sea level, a traditional highland town where life still beats to the rhythm of agriculture and herding. The Vilcanota River, which later becomes the mighty Urubamba, flows gently through the valley, giving life to the fields and connecting the communities along its banks. Leaving Marangani behind, the train slowly rolled forward, its rhythm echoing through the quiet highland morning. With every curve, the scenery grew more dramatic, guiding us toward our next destination, Raqchi, a village known for its impressive Inca ruins and the great temple of Huaracocha. Raqchi is a small Andean village, yet it holds one of the most remarkable archaeological sites in the region. At its heart stands the temple of Huaracocha, an enormous structure once dedicated to the Inca creator god. What makes it so striking is its sheer scale. Massive stone foundations supporting high adobe walls that hint at the temple's former grandeur. All around, you can still see the remains of ancient storehouses and long ceremonial halls, as well as the circular houses where the local community once lived. Walking among these ruins, with the snow-capped Andes framing the horizon, it's easy to imagine the place as it was centuries ago. A spiritual and cultural center where pilgrims gathered, traded, and worshipped. Today, Raqchi is a quiet stop, but its history is written in every stone. On the final stretch of the journey, the train traced the curves of the Vilcanota River, which twisted like a silver ribbon through the valley. Small villages appeared along the banks, clusters of red-tiled roofs, fields of maize and quinoa, and farmers working close to the water. By midday, our train finally rolled into Cusco, the legendary capital of the Inca Empire. Nestled high in the Andes, at more than 3,300 meters above sea level, the city spreads across a valley, ringed with steep green hills. From above, its red-tiled roofs seem to glow in the sunlight, weaving a tapestry of old stone streets, colonial plazas, and vibrant markets. Cusco is a place where history and everyday life are inseparable. The solid foundations of Inca walls still hold up Spanish-era churches, and modern cafes and artisan shops hum with the rhythm of the present. It's a city, alive with color, tradition, and the unmistakable energy of travelers, who, like us, have journeyed here to step into the heart of Peru's sacred valley. Walking through the city, it's impossible not to notice the massive stonework that still forms the base of so many buildings. Huge blocks, some weighing many tons, are carved with incredible precision and locked tightly together without mortar. To this day, their origin sparks debate, so perfectly that not even a blade of grass fits between them. These walls have withstood centuries of earthquakes that toppled everything built above them. Were they shaped entirely with stone tools and sheer manpower, or did the Incas inherit techniques from an even older civilization? The mystery only adds to Cusco's sense of timelessness. Leaving Cusco behind, we began the final stretch of our journey, the approach to Machu Picchu. The train slid out of the station and soon was running alongside the Urubamba River.
Gracias por su atención. Sigan continuando disfrutando de vuestro brunch. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are enjoying your brunch. Well, for the moment we were traversing next to the peak of Veronica. That will be the highest peak of the range of Vilcabamba. The peak is at 5,893 meters. Just next to it is Huequehuilca, the peak of Sacred Tears. And right in this moment, up to the left, is that bridge, which will be the beginning to the access of the
famous Inca Trail.
In Machu Picchu.
The river waters carve their way through steep cliffs and dense green forests. Every curve of the tracks revealed a new view. Rushing rapids below, towering peaks above, and the sense that we were being drawn deeper into a hidden world. For me, this return was deeply personal. 31 years earlier, in 1994, I first stood here after walking the 4-day Inca Trail on foot. To arrive now by rail and bus felt entirely different. Yet the wonder of seeing this ancient city was just as powerful as the very first time. At last, we reached Aguas Calientes, the small town at the foot of the mountain. Wedged tightly between vertical jungle-covered cliffs and the roaring Urubamba. The place feels almost hidden from time. Narrow streets, lined with cafes, hostels, and artisan markets, echo with the sound of the river and the constant flow of travelers heading to or returning from Machu Picchu. The town's dramatic setting, with sheer granite walls rising on all sides, makes it feel like a gateway carved right into the Andes. From here, buses climb a winding road of endless switchbacks, carrying us higher and higher. Until, suddenly, the city itself appeared. I first came here as a young backpacker, carrying everything I needed on my back, and walking the famous Inca Trail for 4 long days. On the final night, we camped at the sun gate, the very edge of the trail, overlooking Machu Picchu from above. Back then, the place felt very different. Far fewer visitors, no marked trails, and an atmosphere that was raw and wild. Now, more than 3 decades later, I feel nothing but gratitude for the chance to return. This time, not alone, but together with my family. To share this wonder with them is a gift I will carry with me forever.